friends, my name is Shayla and today I'm here to film my mid-month wrap-up for you. So I will be talking about everything that I read from December 1st to December 14th. If you're new to my channel, this is something that I do every month. I feel like I've been reading a ton, and so I try to break it up so that my wrap-ups aren't an hour long. So with that said, let's just go ahead and dive right into this video. I'm going to start with the books up front and then the manga because I feel like there's a lot more manga in this one than previous wrap-ups. So I don't have too many books. I've been focusing a lot on manga, and then I'm in the middle of two books that I'll briefly mention. I am in the middle of Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, as well as The Star of the Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I am in the middle of both of those right now, so when I get those finished up, I will be talking about them in the latter half of the month. But I did participate in 'Tis the Season-a-thon in the first part of December, and I talked about these 5 books in that vlog, which I will leave linked for you, but I will briefly mention them here. So first up, we have Snowbound at Christmas by Debbie Mason. Snowbound at Christmas is a great, really fun, celebrity kind of Christmas story where it involves a sister who's an ex-cop who's now kind of working for her celebrity sister and a mystery surrounding all of that. And then, of course, we have the hunky private investigator who goes undercover as the celebrity sister's co-star on her daytime soap to kind of help figure out what's going on. It's really cute. This takes place in her Christmas Colorado series, which is one of my favorite romance series that's like small town. So if you like small town romances, I definitely recommend checking out the Christmas Colorado series. This was a republish that came out this year, but so there is an audiobook for it, and it was just really good. I really enjoyed it. Next we have The Shop on Main Street by Carolyn Brown. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. This was just kind of in the middle for me. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I think it's one, well, really it's like a 3.5 stars because I think on a second read I would enjoy this a lot more. It was just much more dramatic than I thought it would be going into it. And I mean, on the back it does say Still Magnolias meets the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, so I should have had a better clue at that point, but I didn't. So here we are. And yes, I really did enjoy the characters for the most part. And so like I say, I think on a second read I would enjoy it more. It's just my expectations were a bit skewed going into it. Next we have Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu, which I did end up DNFing. If you want to know the reasons why, definitely check out that blog. Next we have My Kind of Wonderful by Jill Shalvis. This is one where we follow... This is another book following the Kincaid family that we met in Second Chance Summer, which I read earlier this year. This is a winter-based one, and we are dealing with the romance for Hudson. And I really like this. I don't want to tell you much more than that because I think I went in kind of blind to this, and so I ended up enjoying it a whole lot more. And this is a romance that definitely bodes well into going in fairly blind. And then last but not least was 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, which was by far my favorite read of 'Tis the Season-a-thon. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. This was a rip-roaring fun ride. The quintessential perfect YA Christmas romance to me. I think it was just really well done. I really enjoyed how everything played out. There was a second scenario how it could have played out, and I would have been happy with that as well. But I think for the sake of this book, it played out really well. I would love to see this as like a Netflix original Christmas movie because I think it was really well done. Next up, I did read this during the week of 'Tis the Season-a-thon, but it wasn't technically part of my 'Tis the Season-a-thon reading, and that was The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, which I gave 4.5 stars. I really, really loved this book. I am so excited for how this series is going to go, but essentially we are following a woman who is not Guinevere, but is living the life of Guinevere, and how she fits into the Arthurian legends. It's fantastic. It is so well done. That's all I'm going to tell you about it because it's not very long, so I don't want to spoil you for things as to what her real identity is and things like that. So I do recommend checking out this series for sure. One of my new favorites. Definitely looking forward to the sequel, hopefully coming in 2020. All right, I do have a few more digital/audiobook reads for the first part of the month, so I'm going to jump into those now. So we do have Dating-ish by Penny Reed. That's the other audiobook that I consumed because I did most of Snowbound at Christmas on audiobook. But Dating-ish is book 6 of 7 in the Knitting in the City series, and I really liked this particular story. I thought it was really fun. It wasn't the couple that I want. The couple I want is the next one, and that is The Marriage of Inconvenience. But these just are fun. They're not the best thing ever written, but they're really fun. I really liked it. This is one that follows a character that we met in the previous one. His name is Matt, and Matt is kind of this awkward, blunt kind of man, and he is interacting with our Knitting in the City gal Marie, and they're just really cute and really funny about everything. Their interactions together had me belly laughing as I was listening to it. Like, I had to pull over once. I was laughing so hard and listening to it in the car. So these are just fun and funny. They're not the best things ever written, and I'll never say that they are, but I had a good time reading it. And so if you're interested in just kind of a fun, quirky little romance, they do get a little wordy. I will say that. Some people have said they're way too long, but the length doesn't bother me. They feel more slow burn that way, so I don't mind it. And I ended up really enjoying that one. So definitely, you can definitely check out the series. The first couple were a lot harder for me than the other ones. So jump in the middle and see how you feel, I guess, and go from there. There's a couple other digital arcs that I was able to squeeze in during all of this reading. So one was 10 Things My Cat Hates About You. This was just kind of an average romance for me. I mean, I did like the involvement of the cat, of course, because I'm a cat person. But all in all, it didn't, like, shock me. It's not a new favorite. It's just there, and it's okay. Same to be said for the next one, which is called Unspoken. This is just kind of an average in the middle romance for me. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was just kind of there. I'm sad that those couple were kind of duds for me because I was really quite excited about them. But yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. So that's it for all of the books. Now we will only be talking about manga because it is the 25 days of manga, and I've been reading a ton of manga. So I've been primarily focusing on trying to get my physical TBR down to basically 0 so that as I bring new things into the collection, I don't have this backlog that I'm trying to read through. And with December being a no-buy, this was the perfect time to get caught up. And so that's kind of what we're doing. So I do have a couple of digital manga things that I read. So I wanted to talk about those briefly. So the first one is called I Want to Back You Into a Corner. This is what they classify as a TL manga on Kindle, at least, where really they're just kind of pure smut. You know, they're problematic AF, but they're kind of just fun to read, and they're a good smutty time. So if you're looking for a good smutty time, definitely get on your Kindle and check out those TL series. This next one is another TL series. I read all 3 volumes of it. It is called The Rough and Deep Second First Love. This one definitely, it has kind of a weird little twist to it that I don't want to give away. Essentially, this girl, her fiance dies, and she ends up running into someone at the grave of her lover, and he kind of tries to take care of her, and his connection to her is really interesting. So that's the part I'm not going to give away, but it is what it is. It's just there. It's pretty dang smutty, which is surprising. But yeah, I'm not going to say it's perfect or not problematic because it is. But I had a good time reading it, and that's all that matters, right? Right. All right, let's dig into the physical volumes of manga that I've read, because I've read quite a few, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to start with the ones that I've read multiple volumes in during this adventure. So the first one that I've read the most volumes in was I got caught up on the case study of Vanitas, which is a steampunk vampire manga series. This is really fun. I really enjoy the characters. The art is stunning. It's on that borderline on violence for me, so I will say that. So if you're sensitive to violence, maybe try one volume and see how you do. But for the most part, it doesn't cross that line for me. So I really enjoy the series. These are solid, like 4 stars. And this is one where it's complex enough. I think I'm going to love it even more on a second read. So, and this was just my first read of these, obviously. So I'm really excited to kind of read through them again. I know that the 6th volume comes out in December, but again, because of the no-buy, I won't be current. So I'm as current as I can be on my no-buy on the case study of Vanitas now, and I really enjoy it. I'm going to continue to collect it. Definitely worth checking out if you like steampunk vampires. Next, I got to the 2 Viz Big editions of Inuyasha. These are the first 2 in the series. And it was really fun. I watched most of the Inuyasha anime just as I was starting to get into anime. So it was actually really fun to revisit this. I think things happen in a slightly different order in the manga as they do in the anime. I don't know. It's been long enough since I've watched it. I might just be forgetting the order of things. But Inuyasha is essentially, we follow Kagome, which is this teenage girl in Japan who ends up falling through her family's well on their shrine property and ends up back in time to an era where there are demons running rampant, and she's being chased by this demon for this bauble that she has. And so she stumbles across Inuyasha. She ends up waking him from this 50-year slumber, and the story goes from there. That's all I'm going to say. Most people probably know what Inuyasha is by now anyway, and it's just really fun. I really like this. I'm definitely going to be continuing to collect these big editions because, one, they're hefty and they're solid and they're going to hold up to a lot of rereads, which I expect to do with this particular series. And it's just a series that I really enjoy. I know this one doesn't hold up to the test of time to a lot of people, but I really love it. So, yes, I'm excited that Inuyasha is officially going to be entering the Haslam collection. Next, I did continue on in Haikyuu. I read volumes 5 and 6, and I love these volleyball boys. Like, there's just not much more I can say. This is about a volleyball team and the boys on the team, and I adore them. They are adorable boys, and my heart just loves them so much. This series is extra long, so I'm still debating whether I want to continue to collect physically or switch this to a digital collect or a read through the Shonen Jump app kind of situation. I'm trying to decide that because my space is limited in this little house we live in. So I'm not 100% sure. I do love them a lot. So if I'm going to collect a shonen, it's probably going to be this one. So I don't know. Let me know. Sound off in the comments down below whether you think I should continue to collect physically or if you think I should switch to digital because it is over 30 volumes long. I believe ongoing as well. And the rest of the things that I have read have just been 1 volumes in series. So here we go. I did continue on with Beastars. I read volume 3. I continue to really enjoy the direction of the series. I know not everybody was happy with volume 2, but I personally really enjoy the direction of the series. I find it very interesting, the way they're handling the whole Zootopia in high school kind of scenario. And they've gone out into society a little bit in this volume, so you see a little bit more of the outside, not just within the school. And I thought that was really interesting. So again, I like the direction the series is headed. I do plan on continuing. I also continued on in Your Lie in April. This is volume 5. I love this series a lot, a whole heckin' ton. And it's just one of my all-time favorites. I really enjoy how the manga is drawn. This is one of the most beautifully drawn mangas that per a lot of mangaka out there. So I highly recommend checking out the manga. If you're not a manga reader, the anime is absolutely stunning and I highly recommend. Next, I started a new series because this is a volume 1 I've had on my shelf for a very long time, and that is QQ Sweeper. This is from the same mangaka who does Dengeki Daisy, which I absolutely loved this year. And I believe this story morphs into Queen's Quality later, if I remember right. But anyways, I really enjoyed this first volume. I do plan on continuing on in the series. And this is essentially about people who are able to go into your mind and clean out all of the bad negative things in your mind, but it continues to come back. So it's really interesting to me. I really love it. Next, I read volume 2 of Skullface bookseller Honda-san. This is just about a skull, like a bone person called Honda, and their interactions in a bookstore. It's hilarious. I love this. This is definitely a comedy slice of life. It's not really a romance or anything. So you see her deal with foreigners coming into the store, asking questions about like BL manga or erotica manga, which is mentioned in this one. And it's just hilarious. I laugh really hard. It's a fun time. Definitely check it out. Next up, I continued on in Witch Hat Atelier, this is volume 4. This is a series that I absolutely enjoy the direction of this series. We met a new character in this volume, and I really enjoyed this character. So I'm really interested to see if they're going to stick around in the series. I certainly hope so. And the focus was on a different character through the majority of this volume. And I loved seeing their perspective a lot. They're one of the quieter characters through most of the series. It's this girl on the cover here. And it's amazing. Highly recommend. I really enjoy it. Continuing on, we have Phantom Tales of the Night, Volume 2. This is one that's just like vignette stories about people who come to this particular demon and share their secrets, and he collects them. And each story is unique and interesting on its own. So how it's all going to tie together in the end is going to be really, really interesting. So this is one where, again, it kind of borders on my squeamish side a little bit, but I do enjoy it, and I generally really enjoy yokai stories. So this is one that I recommend checking out for sure, and then just kind of gauging from there, because the first volume gives you a pretty good taste of what you're going to be in for, I think, so far. So definitely give it a try. Next we have Silver Spoon Volume 11. I love this series so much. Himuro Arakawa is one of my favorites, and this is one of the shonen that I am collecting right now. And I will collect, not just because I love Himuro Arakawa, but I really have fallen in love with Haichi and his friends at the agricultural high school. It's really a good time. Highly recommend checking out the series. And I had a very kind friend who still never came out and said who it was, but they gifted me Yona of the Dawn Volume 21. This is fantastic. I love Yona so much. And this volume, we have some pretty epic things happen. And people interacting that haven't interacted since like volume 2 or 3. And it's just very interesting to read about. I'm really excited for everything in this series. Yona of the Dawn is one of my all-time favorites. I can tell you that right now without hesitation. And I love these characters. I love the world. I love everything about this. And I am so excited to spend more time learning about them, because I know in Japan it's 35 or 36 volumes in. So we've still got a while on this series, and I'm super excited about it. All right, we've got 2 volumes left. So the first one here is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagato. This is a new series, the first volume. And I have some thoughts about this particular one, so I do plan on doing a full dedicated video to this particular title. This is out from Vertical, and I enjoyed it, but there's some things that I didn't enjoy, which is why I'm planning on doing a dedicated video to it. But I'm 95% sure I'm going to continue to collect this one because I enjoyed it enough. But as I give you my full thoughts in that dedicated video, once it's finished, I'll link it. I will seriously, you'll understand my hesitations, I think. And then last but not least, so far for the month of December, I read the first compilation of Chi Sweet Home. This is part 1. This is just a slice of life manga following the adventures of this adorable cat named Chi, and this is in color, which is uncommon for most manga, and it's just adorable. If you're a cat lover or a cat owner, you'll really enjoy this. It doesn't have this big complex overarching story. This is just cat shenanigans, and I just love cat shenanigans. They are part of my world because, I have 2. So definitely check out Chi Sweet Home. It's a great one. So friends, that is it for everything that I have read so far in the month of December. Let me know in the comments down below how you're doing on the 25 days of manga if you're reading, or what your favorite thing is you've read this month. And I will see you guys in the next one. By the way, if you're new, I would love it if you would like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe, and click the little bell. You guys know what to do because this is YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next one.